Thank you, everyone. If you could take your seats, please, we will start the final session. I hope you found the day interesting so far. I thought Mr. Hashimoto's comments on how MOL are performing was particularly interesting. This final session, in fact, is building from that in a way. We titled it Japan and the Next Generation of Shipping. We have two panels. The first one looking at technologies in the future of shipping, and the second one going back to look further at shipbuilding. We have a panel with a ship builder, but also an owner, a broker, and a financier, sort of to look at the whole round of things. And then between that, it's our pleasure to have Sakura Kuma from MOL, who is launching Wista Japan, which add a bit of colour and interest to the diversity thing. So for this next panel on the technology shaping the future fleet, if I could ask the panellists to come and join me on the stage, please. Thank you. Michiko, nice to see you. Thank you. Please. Second seat. Yeah, great. Thanks, Sheldon. Sorry. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. If I could introduce them just very briefly again, just to frame things. But as I say, all these details and all the delegates are in the app if you download it. To my left, it's Dr. Chiyoharu Kawakita, the PM of the GI Fund of the Next Generation Ship Development in the New Energy and Industrial Technology Development Organization, NEDO. He's been working on GHG reduction for around nearly 4 decades in Mitsubishi heavy industry, and now particularly around hydrogen and ammonia fueled vessels and on methane slip. Next to him, it's a great pleasure to welcome again Michihiko Nakano, who is the MD of Ashai Tanker, but also as part of that, their collaboration with the likes of MOL and others in E5 Lab Inc. He joined Asahi in 23 after a long career in MOL. And E5 Lab, for those who don't know, is all about the electrification and digitization of the ship of the future. So critical to this. Next we have it's a pleasure to welcome Jarden Gross, the co-founder and CEO of Orca AI, which has been a fast-growing AI-based company. You won't be surprised to know the lessons in the name, looking at safety, efficiency, and sustainability throughout the chain using automation and AI. Next up, a well-known face now, Søren Meyer, former Maersk Tankers guy, and before that in other companies, but since 2020, the founder of Zero North, which works with some of the very biggest players in the world, Cargill and Trafigura and Vitol amongst them, looking at optimization of ship operations. And at the far end, it's a pleasure to welcome for the first time Hiroyuki Ando, the managing director of MIT Co. It's the research and development arm of MYK and has been there since 2005 and is a doctor of engineering. So he very much knows his chops when it comes to the technicalities of these things. So, as I say, this is about technology shaping the future fleet. My first question, the rather classic generic question is the shipping value chain from the ship owners, operators, charterers and shipyards moving fast enough to embrace the opportunities really offered by new technologies, both in hardware and software? And I'm sorry, Søren, I can see you smiling, nodding as I say that, but is your customer base, frankly, moving fast enough to have the opportunities that you offer them?
Yeah, I actually think they are. I think a lot of people are saying, hey, the industry is slow moving and not adapting. I do think that it's gone as fast, to some extent even faster than we would anticipate, right? So we started the company 5 years ago, and at this day we have 6,000 vessels on the platform. So I think that's some kind of like testament that the industry is moving faster. But I also think that like what we are generally seeing is that there's a part of the value chain that's acting a little bit faster than other parts of the value chain. And especially the charters and the trading houses are moving a little bit faster, seeing the opportunities that technology can give them as an edge of using data to how do I get a vessel most optimal from A to B.
Do you think that's from their mentality of their day-to-day business, their mainstream business to some extent?
Yeah, they are used to fine-tuning the last dollar in every part of the business, which is optimization often rely on, right? So when you go further down the value chain, I do think that the ship owners are beginning to catch up, but a little bit at a slower speed. And especially that collaboration between the charters and the owners are getting an increased attention, more forced by the charters, less than the willingness of the owners. So I think that will be the next big wave is where we're seeing owners being more progressive of understanding when they're optimizing, they can actually get more out of the vessels in a time charter rate when they charter the vessels out.
Jan, continuing to talk about digital technology, what trends are you seeing?
No, first of all, I'm echoing Soren here. We need to remember, or just take it for example, in 2023, Starlink became available in the industry, which is a new type of technology. Today, when you look at shipping owners and shipping companies, they're all deploying it, or it's already fully deployed. So when a good product that really drives performance and results is coming to the market, they know how to be very quickly in deploying it. Eventually, it's a mission-critical industry. They can't deploy any technology that is out there. They can't adopt any technology that is out there. It needs to be tested, it needs to be confirmed, and once it drives good enough results, I think they can be pretty quick in taking the right decisions.
Michihiko, what is the take-up of technology, the more physical technology do you see, particularly here in Japan?
It's just my opinion, but there are some first movers like Moyawa and NYK. But though that the reality, not all, but many shipowners stays far behind in adoption of new technology. That I think it's a reality, particularly for in small or medium-sized Japanese owners.
What do you think are the reasons that people are not more engaged? Is it
just
a lack of short-term gain, or is it a lack of vision?
I think the real bottleneck is not software, hardware, but kind of a mindset. I call brainware in adoption of new technologies.
Hideyuko Ando, what do you see of what are the bottlenecks to the take-up of physical technologies in the shipping business today?
Sorry, what do you mean with the physical technology? Is that the actual ship design?
We were talking about obviously new technologies and engines, but then the array of energy-saving technologies, some of which have been in great demand, but others are seemingly not responding.
Yeah. In our position inside shipping company, also from the perspective from Japan, still I think the hardware side, energy saving, and also actually the most interest are still actually, of course, the alternative fuel, because we have to, in the long run, we have to achieve this net zero. So then a lot of like technology development around that area, ammonia, and so on, and other fuels. And also at the same time, then actually from a shipping company, actually how to operate those technologies, actually software side are also very important. And then together with alternative fuel or advanced fuel, again, of course, energy efficiency is of course, very important subjects. And that is actually then energy efficient side already wind assisted devices also the key interest, and also other conventional energy saving devices are also very much interest. So then actually we are evaluating like a return on investment, and then actually logically we are selecting actually the business segment selecting those technologies. So I think it's quite like a logical, and also they are considering like a lot of uncertainties about like regulations and this geopolitical thing. So probably I think basically people are wearing all those situations and selecting hardware.
Thank you. Dr. Kawakita, is the industry moving fast enough to take the benefits of these new digital and hardware technologies?
まあ日本語でちょっと失礼しますけれども、
Yes, we will be talking in Japanese. And considering I'm working in the organization called NEGO. It's a funding agency. It's one of the biggest funding 4 years ago. Then we had a Green Innovation Fund, which is started 4 years ago. And we making an investment of 2.8 trillion toward 2050 in order to aim at obtaining carbon neutrality in 2050. And I'm doing this next generation vessels like hydrogen or ammonia fuel vessel development, and this kind of project started. And 4 years ago, would hydrogen or ammonia would become the central fuel. So it was not technologically ready even at that time 4 years ago. But due to the great effort made by the Japanese private companies, ammonia, for example, last year, 4-stroke engine, we have IHI, the 4-stroke engine developed by IHI, and it was used by the tugboat on the Nihon Yusen, and 2-stroke engine, the Japan engine. The land test has been done in GHG and substantially reduced, and also the results of efficiency has become much, and the Nihon Yusen is, they are creating the vessel in Ariake at this moment. So it has become much more realistic, and even concerning hydrogen, we have a liquefied hydrogen, and we're developing 4-stroke engines as well. And the land tests have already finished, and there's no major issue. 2-stroke engines as well, that we are doing the actual tests at this moment. And we are assembling this, the actual one. So ammonia next year, and for hydrogen by 2027. And so this is going to be launched. So the technological developments have gone quite rapidly, and concerning the supply chain of the fuels, how we are to cope with this still remain. So this.
Ready, it's the supply chain which is the challenge. I think that's a rough take on that. Yarden, can I ask you, where do you see the greatest challenges to this uptake? Why? Mr. Nakano said that some of it is the psychology, the mentality of people in the industry, but is it also being so ruthlessly focused on near-term gains and not being able to crystallize those out immediately?
Yeah, I think it's because the operation's been done for many years, right? For decades, and ships went from point A to point B. And I think something changed now. I think if you look at 2023, there was two technologies that started to be introduced to the world. One is connectivity. Ships have become more connected to the cloud. And then Gen AI as well. the investment of AI and how they're actually impacting our life. So I think we're in this process where the mind shift is starting to change, both on the shipping and also on the office side. For us in Orca, it's super important when we are working with a customer. So when we are doing the deployment of the technology and the AI, to work very closely with the team to make sure that the crew knows how to use it to create this type of adoption. So they will adopt it very quickly and they'll know how to utilize it and create value out of it. So I think that the mindset is starting to change. And again, we need to take into account, it just happened like 2 years ago, two major effects that are driving technology into shipping now. So we are in the beginning of the process, but it's just going to accelerate in the near-term future.
We'll come on to talk about funding and financing these things in a moment. Yarden, I was just going to put to you,
Yeah.
but you've raised quite a lot of money through venture firms. I was going to ask, just for those who aren't aware, your 30-second elevator pitch of what Orca AI does, in 3 or 4 sentences.
Yeah, we're building operations platform to enable ships to navigate safer, more efficient. We are deploying an AI-based platform on board the vessel that is assisting the crew to navigate safer and provide visibility to the office for the fleet managers and operations. And by that, we're also building the underlying technology for autonomy. We're working very closely with MTI, NYK, and Anderson on how to build the building blocks towards autonomy and more automations for ships, where I think the industry and ships are going to start going through this transition as well in the next couple of years because of all the operational challenges that you have today and the shortage of crew. So we'll be able to automate a lot of the processes that you have today on board the ship and elevate also the efficiency there.
Thanks. Mr. Ando, where do you see the greatest opportunities in the deployment of some of these new technologies?
If that technology is about what Yarden mentioning is that it is actually basically the what so-called the autonomous navigation technologies. And then in Japan case, actually we are facing very rapid decreasing the number of seafarers, especially for coastal shipping. So then to sustain coastal shipping, then we definitely need some solutions. That is, I think, the potential area that we are considering to apply the technology. And
with autonomous shipping, there's obviously the technology, there's the culture, but there's also the regulatory and the legal frameworks that wrap around that. Are those rules, regulations, and legal provisions being updated fast enough to keep up with the opportunities that the technology offers?
In the beginning, actually, the technology shows the potential possibility about how we can solve. But then, actually, now those like including like a legal and of course a legal and also like a regulation and also even like insurance. Those like following like a social. Like actual implementation and discussions are ongoing in parallel. So now actually through the technology demonstration, now we're actually running the second stage of that demonstration by the Nippon Foundations. The big, actually it is like a 70 million US dollar level. It's a quite big, and we were about to start demonstration. But then already like a regulator, such as like a Japanese Ministry of Land Transportation, the regulator government are heavily involved in that type of discussion. So now we are gathering attention of those variety of perspectives for the real implementation.
Soren, could I ask you, in terms of opportunities, so many of these platforms, clearly with operators of scale, they have the leverage because of the volume. What are the opportunities for technologies like your own to the smaller operator with smaller fleets? Can they reap real benefits?
Yeah, so I always find it interesting when we're having these debates of looking into the future of future fuels and autonomous shipping. But then I like actually often that we step back a little bit and then look at, okay, what are some of the real technology problems we're having? And yet, to this day, one of the biggest problems we're having is just collecting clean data from the vessels. Yeah. Like so like getting the new reports or the vessel reports into a state where we trust the data coming in. is actually still a big hurdle for the industry. I think you talked about the hurdle earlier, so that's one of them, right? And that's where like a platform like when you're generating like data from like 6,000 vessels, that data is training each other so that you can kind of map out what are the outliers and go back and you can invest into automating the processes. So an example in our case, if you are using our vessel reporting, we've decided to take over the entire quality process of guaranteeing that your vessel data quality is super high, right? And the way we do it is building in-house AI agents that is like following up with the vessels of getting the data in the right shape. So it's an AI agent communicating with the vessel of getting that data in. So you can benefit from the scale that, because like I don't think a company with 5 or even with 100 vessels can afford to build that technology on their own. It's quite expensive still, both to run and build it, right? So the benefit here is that you, with scale, you benefit from the data, but you also benefit from the investment into it, right? So at this moment we have around 300 software engineers around the world, and they are not doing anything else, just upgrading, and it goes as is being said. Technology now just have taken a totally different leap into that, right? But I do think that we need to keep on focusing on some of the near-term chances we're having of having trustworthy data across the value chain before we can move into discussing some of the bigger topics going forward.
Michihiko, could I ask you that the question around the quality of data, in fact the standardization of data is one that goes around a lot. What is your perspective on the quality, and then should there be a greater push for standardization of
Yes,
data?
yes, standardization.
And what is standing in the way of that? Is it just the class societies?
So, of course, standardization is very essential, but how to utilize those standardization, because from operator's point of view, we don't need some additional workload on board. Sometimes that requires extensive training on board. That is far from our intention, is because nowadays the seafarers' well-being is very important. We don't need some new technology that requires new technologies or new standards that requires additional training on board. Because at this moment, the seafarers on board had a lot of paperwork, lots of facility to manage. So we don't want to add additional works. So standardization, of course, is very important. Standardize and collecting data is very important, but at the same time, we need to reduce our workload. It's from operator's point of view.
Soren, on the standardization of data,
No,
is it even worth having that argument, frankly?
It's a topic super close to my heart, because we've been pushing for that for a long time, and anybody that want to talk standardization, we're happy to listen in. But I do echo that, like, with all the due respect for the classification agency, they all have their own ways of looking at standards, right? And so we need a more neutral body to come in and do it across, so that everybody can like work on the same. And then when it comes to the crew, I can only echo, like, a vessel is entering vessel data for the owner, the technical manager, the charter, the sub-charter, right? They will enter 4 or 5 different NUM reports every day. They're spending 3 to 6 hours on a vessel just entering this data manually every day. So I get totally why is it that we are not getting high quality data in, because I can't imagine that I would have to spend 3 hours a day typing in the same data 5 times. I was just like, what? In this world, right? So that standardization has to be one report that can be distributed, and then all the different players across the value chain need the data, so then you can redistribute it seamlessly between them. And I think that is like, and this is where this technology discussion often becomes like shaping the future. Yeah, but you can't shape your future if you don't fix today. And I think that's a super important to remember for everyone. Around fixing that data point is critical for the rest.
We don't need the groundbreaking the new technology.
Sorry, repeat that?
We don't need the groundbreaking
Yeah.
new technologies.
Yeah.
the simple, the easy to install, the easy to manage, and the robust one.
Yeah. Dr. Kawakita, is shipping becoming a digital business rather than a physical business? And I say to that someone involved in the physical side of the industry, physical technologies.
Well, in currently, we don't do some AI projects, but I'm a researcher, so I see a lot of AI reports. And regarding the ship operation, I think AI agent or AI technology will be installed soon, because for the overseas vessels, maintenance are needed, right? So because fully autonomous is kind of difficult, but maybe domestic will be started soon, I think. And regarding for the Japanese ship building, and to increase competitiveness, global competitiveness, so each technology is fine, but cost effectiveness is kind of weak, so to say, or not even cost effective for some. So if we install or utilizing robotics, then if it increases production efficiency and ammonia, hydrogen, even though some dangerous fuels are used, but if they can guarantee the safety, and if we minimize the price gap, that would lead to if they say they will double the productivity. So I think we need to have the cost effectiveness, not only cost effectiveness, but safety, trust are also needed. How to add values to the technology. I think this is a game.
Comment basically that the data and data analysis can actually increase the efficiency and safety of new fuels even, and the building of the hardware actually driven by data management, big data management, can be an advance. I think I got that right, Mr. Ando, and I was going to put to you, talking about the role of AI in the business, which is everywhere, of course, in small ways, and often talked about with ignorance of not knowing what it is and what the opportunities are. Where do you see the most powerful applications of AI in the areas that you are working on at the moment, and how do you see that developing?
I think basically all human jobs could be probably enhanced, not replaced, but I would say enhanced by using AI. Probably all whatever operation or management or a concept generation, planning, and programming. Every human, probably our speakers also probably think about, and probably so. For instance, in my case, my productivity has been a lot improved by using AI, I think, for instance. But that is not only for me, of course, it's for basically every type of jobs. That is my impression. So I cannot say specific a scope of job that in the context of shipping. But of course, shipping, but anyhow, we have to sustain this shipping business by utilizing AI. So that in terms of all those value chain and supply chain. So I think everywhere probably potential be there.
Yarden, as I joked at the start, the answer is somewhat in your name, Orca AI. But if there was anyone in the audience here, and I suspect there will be very few, who aren't fully engaged with trying to see how AI tools will change their own roles and their business in coming years, what would you say to encourage them to look deeper?
I think I'm pretty sure that most of them already experiencing that with ChatGPT. So I saw Ando-san when we were sitting there. he was asking ChatGPT something, I didn't see what, but he asked. So it's getting into our lives, and I think this is the first step. The second step is that it's going to start getting into corporations and gradually into mission-critical type of operations. And I think this is the process that we're going through now. So it's going to start with agents, AI agents, that are going to automate the reporting. This is exactly what Soren is doing. We're taking, like, for example, a different approach. Instead of we're looking at the data that we want to get high-frequency data. And what high-frequency data enables you to do is to go really to the next step, which is automating more complex type of tasks and operations. And eventually, it will go to automating parts of the voyage. So where we see it going in the next couple of years is that it will enhance the crew, but it will enhance the crew to navigate the ship more efficient and safer, and in certain cases, we'd actually take actions and relieve the crew from a lot of the workload that they need to do today by taking a lot of data inputs in real time.
Soren, how has AI changed the way you are working in Zero North over the last few years? Because presumably that's accelerated rapidly.
No, yes. So I think we need to split AI into different pieces, right? Because like you have the predictive AI, which has been there for many, many years, right? So that's a lot what we do of predicting the fuel consumption, predicting what's the most optimal route, how to get from A to B, predicting where should I refuel, predicting from who should I refuel, right? So AI is predictive, AI is there embedded. I think what we're talking about now is agentic AI, which is like where you are enhancing your work by AI agents, right? So imagine you are a vessel operator, you get to your office, and then your AI agent have already gone through your entire fleet, and it's kind of like telling you what should you do to optimize, like, hey, this vessel is not performing. I suggest that we are sending this new voice order, right? And then the operator will still, I think, for a long time evaluate what is the AI agent like. Let's not kid ourselves, like the AI agents will be wrong, and you don't want to send something out wrong. So you still wanted to have those human eyes on it, right? The AI agents are there to please you, and they will show you results that might not be what's the most optimal. So we need to be safety-wise super careful on that, right? But it goes all jobs, as you're saying, all jobs will be enhanced by AI agents doing a lot of your tasks for you and asking you to take decisions instead of doing the underlying work. And there you need to do it in a way where it's not a black box. I think it's super critical on being able to like unravel why is it that the AI agent is suggesting something. You have to look deeper and have explainable AI supporting the agents on that, right? So this is a journey, and I don't think that we should just jump in and trust AI agents always. We shouldn't just trust ChatGPT or Gemini either on everything that they tell us. They are probably 99% or 90% correct, but there's just times where it's not, right? And here safety is a big matter on that. But it has a super big future. And for our company on its own, the productivity is just like massively going up. Like designing a new feature in the software is like you're typing and then you get like a prototype right there. It will be a month, 2-month work that is one person can do in a day. Like you will sit with your client and say, what's your use case? And then it will build in front of you like a demo that can be take to code right after. So the quality control, everything around it is just like, you get super impressed when you see how fast that is going.
In some ways, you've just about answered the question I was going to put to you all just to wrap up. And I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity to have a panel like this with your perspectives and detail of looking to the future. And the question I wanted to pose to you was a bit of crystal ball gazing, but say 10 years' time. You look at the ship of today, and frankly, it's little changed. From, a 10-year-old ship today is little changed from how it would have been 30 years ago. Yeah. 5 years ago, maybe. Maybe the change is starting to happen.
I will argue against you on that one. I think a lot has changed in the last 5 years. I just think that it goes in a speed where we are like, we can't see that it's changing. It's a little bit like the boiling frog. I think if you went back in time 5 years, go back 5 years, and looked at the operations 5 years ago and now, I think it's a totally different.
Okay. Well, again, building on from that, say 10 years' time, though, what will have changed? Soren, pick that up then.
Yeah.
In 10 years' time?
What will have changed is like you walk into an office and you will have you will speak to your computer, you won't type to it, you will ask, you will have generated like a AI agent that will be your assistant, and you will have a Google meeting or a Teams meeting with an AI agent that you will have a dialogue around what should I do. I don't think you will stop typing and this systems where you are typing things in and then it comes out with something. Like you will dictate, you will have a communication.
And that'll be,
you will talk with your computer.
And that'll be everywhere.
And that will be everywhere, and that will be on the vessels as well.
Dr. Kawakita, your vision for 10 years' time in shipping?
Well, for the decarbonization, I'm in charge of the new fuels, and not only Japan, for 2050, we would like to introduce 20 million ton to install the hydrogen. If 50% is hydrogen, and if minus the ammonia, if we think about the ammonia itself, 400 vessels are needed by 2050. So if it's a hydrogen, we don't have 160,000 rubles, but we need more than 100 vessels. For regarding the maritime industry, so we have the demand for the operation. If fuel is switched, we have high demand for that. So for sure, we don't miss this opportunity. And we would like to technology ready as soon as possible. We cannot do it by ourselves. So to accelerate the Japanese companies, so I am the kind of leader to encourage Japanese companies. I think demand will increase high and not to be stolen by overseas companies or other firms. We would like to secure the market shares.
Gave a very good pitch for bringing hydrogen-fueled ships to the Japanese community to beat the rest of the world. So I give you credit for that, Dr. Kawakita. Michihiko, your vision for 10 years' time, will electrification in particular be taking off in small vessels or not?
EV is one of the solutions, but at this moment, the problem of the energy density of the battery, we cannot use for long haul, the deep water shipping. Only we are involved in 4 EVs, 2 EV tankers, 1 hybrid bulkers, and 1 EV tugboat. And further 2 other tugboats, tugboat and container ships that we are involved, but only in the short haul because of the density of the battery. But I hope the development of battery we will use that much longer. But I don't think in the deep water shipping. Yeah. And also, the most important issue is the correlation with the shoreside to use the electricity on board. But anyways, I think the goal is very clear, but the pathway to get there is uncertain. Yeah. So many options just in front of us. I don't see which pathway lead to the goal.
Mr. Ando, is Soren's rapid digital shift going to be kept up with the hardware? Is the hardware going to keep up with the speed of change?
Yeah, I think the rapid growth of AI and the software side development are very much impacting on hardware side. Especially we are expecting, as Kawakita-san mentioned, currently Japanese shipbuilding, the position is a bit very behind, rather than like China and Korea. So we would like to catch up, and even would like to compete. Then actually we have to utilize this chance opportunities. So that is what we have to achieve in the next 10 years.
Thank you. And Yarden, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah. So I'll try to be modest because to predict 10 years, who can do that today with everything that is happening. But what for sure I think going to happen is autonomous fleet operations. I think that
On a big scale, you mean?
on the big scale, I think that in the foreseen future, you'll be able to automate 95% of the voyage. Very similar to the airline industry.
I was about to say, very similar.
Exactly, it's already happening in other industries. The crew will be there, but they will be there to supervise and take actions back when needed. In severe situation or entering a port, exiting a port. And then also in the office, related to what Soren said, I think the operation in the office going to be also much more automated. 10 years, 95% going to be automated. The office is going to be more involved in the strategic decision and the human interconnection that needs to happen. So I think AI will relieve us to do highly intelligent decisions where you need something beyond a computer. And I think that's what is exciting.
Yeah. Well, I probably won't be here in 10 years' time, but if I was, I'd be very happy to welcome you all back and see where we are. Gentlemen, many thanks for your thoughts this afternoon and making the time. If you'd like to give me appreciation, thank you. Thanks, guys. If you, make you over. Cheers, Jan. Great. See you in a moment. Thanks to the panelists there. Very, very interesting. I know it's a lot of theoreticals, but the world is changing fast. Now it's a great pleasure to have our final leadership spotlight of the day and to introduce Sakara Kuma from MOL. She's an executive officer and MD of MOL in Asia and Oceania.
Perfect introduction.
And she is also I guess, almost self-appointed, but I mean that in a positive way, of WISTA Japan, the new WISTA Japan, the Women in Shipping Trading Association here in Japan. Sakura, it's always a pleasure to see you. What inspired you to set up a WISTA branch in Japan?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me, first of all. Before I jump into the answers, I have to give you a praise. I know if you are a chef, you must be a slow cooking, good at slow cooking, because I know you've put the ingredients in Ayaka's sessions, and you also put the spices in the Hashimoto-san sessions. You mentioned so much about diversity. And now I think I'm the stew of today.
but you know, journalists hate praise because they think they haven't been hard enough.
Well, you can try more. So take myself as an inspiration.
I'm trying to encourage people to speak from the heart.
And also, for those people who doesn't know WISTA, I mean, there was an experiment I have done in the previous sessions in the different settings. And I was asking people, say, if you know WISTA, please raise your hands. Almost everybody from the overseas raised their hands. Well, it's okay, but today is not an experiment, however. But then when I ask who knows WISTA Japan, of course, nobody raised hand. Actually, that's the right answer because we didn't have it. How come people knows it? But this month, we just literally started as organizations. We have completed all the legal registrations. And we also get approval from WISTA International. So now we're very proud to start WISTA Japan. And now I can answer your questions, what inspired me to do so. I've been in this industry for more than 25 years. And I was very, very lucky. I get opportunities to try many angles to touch this shipping industry, not only shipping, but also logistics and terminal side. Even in the terminal side, it's from the M&A, development, designing, and also the operations. So I regard myself very, very lucky. But I don't see so many lucky people, at least in my surrounding. then I told myself, we should take the luck to a grander level. We should transform the luck into a standard. And over the years, I have been working with or witnesses a lot of female talents in this industry or in this ecosystem. Most of them are so very diligent talent, and they work so hard on the things they pursue, so high goals. However, when it comes to speaking up, they tend to be modest. I'm talking about Japan, by the way. And so I also had some in-depth conversation with those ladies. And then I discovered sometimes they do not like spotlight because they think spotlight will make them isolated from the others. Because they have an image of this is what I am expected to be. But if I'm not this way, then I'll get less popular, or maybe people just move away from me. So that is a fear. I absolutely think that fear is unnecessary. But we cannot just ask individual, don't be fear. I think we need a systematic approach. If we have this platform that you feel easy to speak up and nobody will judge you by speaking up, then we probably will see more talent blooming in their areas. And many of the female talents, they underestimate themselves, undervaluate themselves. But I think what equality really means is if we do the same job, if we are tackling the task as a team, how nice it would be if we just share everything together, including the opportunity.
So just for people's understanding, WISTA is very much a support network in many ways. It's not a campaigning body, although clearly by its very existence, it's leveraging the need for greater diversity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it started in 1974, actually in London. A couple of female tanker brokers, they gathered together, they started this. And over the years, it's 65 national WISTA organizations, 6,000 over members already there, and they are, the international is doing quite a good job. For example, they are the external arm for the DE&I for IMO. And they also have a lot of reach out to the association, which also becoming the inspiration for me on how I'm going to run this organization in Japan. But we're going to touch upon that later. And if we come back to the inspiration part, there's another thing that I really need to emphasize, is that when we talk about the women, there's a lot of misunderstanding said, oh, okay, so you're going to start organizations by the women, for the women, of the women. Definitely not, it's opposite. If we're talking about the equality, then we have every reason to include every gender. So for me, this is an open forum. We invite men and women to be the members. And as a matter of fact, in order to smoothen that access, because this is my research, I also talk to many male individuals, many of them supportive, but they hesitate to becoming a member. So we kind of consider that. So we have fellowship. That's more look like a personal sponsors, but we don't distinguish all of them. And we also have the corporate memberships and corporate sponsorships, which maybe we can touch upon later. The reason why we have designed this is because we want to be a very inclusive and open organizations to encourage the discussions and exchange of your opinions and encourage discussions. It's a forum, it's a network, it's a learning body, learning from each other.
Japan may be on the brink of having its first female prime minister, although a conservative one. What is the appetite here in Japan for greater diversity, for more women to be holding positions of responsibility within the shipping and trading community?
Yeah. Over the years, I think the industry has been transforming step by steps. A lot of like-minded organizations, they are promoting females, hiring more female talent, and trying to offer the equal opportunities, which is great. And I think WISTA Japan can be their external partner to help them to accelerate that process, and also to offer our opinions. Because sometimes the corporates will do something as a corporate initiative. It's good for the corporate side. They really didn't know what the females want. So they extend some initiatives, but females feel uncomfortable to join. Like I said, they just put the spotlight on the women and they feel isolated. So the organization gonna be inclusive, and the platform and what we do gonna be very inclusive.
So what would you like companies, maybe some that are represented here, what would you like them to do to build a relationship with you?
Okay, I think it's really a mutual beneficial if you are a like-minded organization or decision makers. WISTA Japan will be a very inclusive organization, like I said, not only every genders, but also we're gonna absorb all the people who want to participate from these ecosystems. You know, sometimes when we talk about the shipping industries in Japan, maybe naturally they're gonna narrow down their minds into, okay, ship owners, brokers, operators, who else? Actually, the ecosystem is so huge, like the bankers, class, you know, shipbuilders, parts providers, and the technology institutions, and media. So we have the grand, it's like a Fuji mountain, right? So we need to gather everybody in. And in that sense, we can offer a very wide point of view. And that is also, like I said, that we can learn from each other. And for the corporate, for the decision makers, we need the sponsors. The sponsors has two layers of meanings. The one is for the events that we can run together. You have the initiative, we have our initiative, we put together, then that will have a bigger impact. Let us help you, let our voice to be heard, and also for the associations. Right now, our associations is not really kind of open to everybody. It's very dedicated to the members, but with an association like us in the different colors, maybe we can bring that change to the industry as well. So that is for the action-wise, activity-wise, because we believe what we do make who we are is not what we say make who we are. So the support from the industry, why it's essential from the corporate essential is we do not want to do standalone, because that's just a bunch of people and saying we're not activists. We want to contribute to the transformation of this industry. This is just as important as the new fuel and the new technology, the digitalization that we have been talking about earlier. My boss, Hashimoto-san, also mentioned this is very important. I think that is one of the reasons why I joined this company as well. Like-minded, and I feel like there is a lot of room for me to develop, to get people engaged, and to achieve something greater than an individual person like me can ever do. So that's a part that we can do a lot of initiatives together, and we can transform this industry all together. That's going to be a big achievement, and also a learning process for our members as well, men or female. And this is an angle of the activity-wise, and of course, as an organization, we're run by a bunch of volunteers. And we have our daily job, and outside of the job, we're handling this. And thanks to my very devoting initial members, without them, we can't be here. Maybe the company was not established. There's a lot of processes still in place. Just so you know, we just set up our LinkedIn account yesterday. So it's right now empty, but please check and find us and follow us. That's also another support. The other support, which is also very essential, is we need sustainability. And in order to sustain our activities, we also need funding support. That is why we designed corporate sponsorships, starting from 800,000 yen per year, and that is $5,000 US dollar equivalent. But with that, we will invite one ambassador from your board members, from your decision makers, because this is what we want to offer you, our, the knowledge or our opinions, or if you have that initiative, we can help you build together. So things like that.
We must wrap up, I'm afraid, but you, of course, as you mentioned just now, you're not a private individual doing this, but you're an executive with MOL.
Yeah.
And of course, Mr. Hashimoto is enthusiastic about that, so no pressure there then, as we say. But more seriously, you are a senior figure in MOL Asia Oceania. What is on your agenda right now? What are the biggest challenges? Mr. Hashimoto's strategy is
Right.
regionalization of the business to make sure it is sustainable.
Thank you.
What are you working on, and what are the areas of major change that you are trying to effect?
Yeah, thank you very much. As you also investigated our strategy quite well, I remember you mentioned the BA 2035, that's Blue Action 2035, our middle-term strategy. And now we're in the second phase. Like Hashimoto just mentioned, he wanted every region to come up with some plans, and that is exactly my team is right now handling in the Southeast Asia and Oceania. So in the first phase, we were more focusing on how to expand our business. The shipping is quite volatile, so in order to stabilize our portfolios, to shift the percentage between shipping and non-shipping in our portfolio, that percentage is 75 to 25. That's a percentage as of yesterday. And now we're going to shift that to 60 and 40 so that we can have appreciate some stability. And then on top of that, we will also try to expand our market share in the traditional shipping sites by one, the digitalizations, two, and decarbonization, and three, diversity, how to transform the industry from the old one to the new one. I think everybody knows the goals, and just like Ando-san mentioned, it's an approach. But the approach, we never give up, right? We probably have to compromise some speed, like you mentioned, because of the geopolitical tensions and this and that. Somebody over the ocean is speaking loud on something, but all in all, the train is nobody can stop it. So my biggest assignment or my passion on the work side is that we, in the very vibrant area, I would say Southeast Asia and Oceania is very vibrant. We shall try to get the synergy among our different silos of the business, and on the top of that, we expand our new business. And we're doing quite good, in a good shape. I think my boss is okay with that. But when he says okay, of course, his expectation will be coming higher, so I have to be prepared for that. Yeah.
It's terrible. Sakura, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and best wishes for the new project.
Thank you very much. And before I leave this stage, I just want to quickly introduce my initial member of WIST Japan, Maki-san, Yoshida Maki-san, and Yamaguchi-san.
Yamaguchi-san?
See you. Okay, Ayu Matsuo-san and Miyazaki Taeko-san. And where is Maeda Makiko-san? Yes, here. Ta-da! We also have Ayaka-san newly joined us. Come on, come on. Thank you. So actually, I have more to share, but I only have a limited time. I have to leave, but we will stay here after the sessions. Please come talk to us. We need your help, and we can help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sakura.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sakura. Sakura. To be an effective organizer, you need your phone these days. Thank you for that. And now, could I introduce the panelists for the final session, please? If you could join me on the stage. Please, gentlemen. Thank you very much. This is the final session in this last part. Actually, we can squeeze up one.
Go ahead, John.
John. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, grab that one there.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Very good.
Mr. Watanabe.
Yeah.
Come here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. In English, we joke about the final session of the day being the graveyard shift. But there are going to be drinks and nibbles, a few nibbles next door, so I hope everyone is still here with enthusiasm for this final session. The theme of this session, building on what we were talking about just now with technology, is actually around shipbuilding. Can particularly Japanese shipbuilding scale for the next wave of growth? And also, what are the implications? One or two of our panelists may wish to comment on the wider implications for the shipbuilding market. Again, and for the last time, let me just briefly introduce the speakers. To my left is Yusuke Watanabe, the Director, Ship and Ocean Engineering Department at Mitsubishi Shipbuilding. John Su, a well-known figure, the founder and CEO of Erasmus Ship Invest, which is based in Athens, which has owning, operating and management stakes in dry, LPG, MPP and feeder container ships. Next to him, great pleasure to have Eugene Kwek, a partner in SSY Global. He's been broker for about 14 years now. Eugene, and you, the representative lead here in Tokyo, working on particularly maritime projects covering Tokyo, Osaka, and Singapore. Many thanks for taking the time. And at the far end, it's a great pleasure to have Takahiro Hirano, the general manager of the Ship Finance Department in Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Bank. He has been enrolled nearly 25 years. He's been in the business for nearly 25 years, corporate business, global credit, finance. They are, of course, a member of the Poseidon Principles as well, which is and very supportive of that concept. And Takahiro, I think, would like to speak in Japanese. So if you speak English, please grab your microphones. Going back to the question I discussed with Mr. Ueda from Mitsubishi Shipbuilding at the start of the day, with the noise, with the technology change, what is the outlook, as far as you can tell, for Japanese shipbuilding in quality, technology and volume? John Su, as the ship owner on the panel, could I ask your perspective? Is Japanese shipbuilding still a realistic, quality, price realistic option for ship owners? And if not, what can do to change the dial, to double the output, as Mr. Ueda was commenting earlier?
Thank you, Julie. Thank you very much. Well, 皆さん、こんばんは。
So good evening, yes, good afternoon, everybody. Yes.
And in TradeWinds, I think, honestly, I'm very happy, very honored, and I think also TradeWinds picked me up very correctly to promote Japanese shipbuilding. Joking aside, but we have still at the moment from Erasmus Group, we have still a dozen ships on order in 4 different Japanese yards at the moment. And not only that fact, but we also have, from very beginning of our business, we have never built our new building ships or placed orders outside Japan on the planet. So Japan is really the only country so far we have new building orders. So no second country so far. Reason of that, I think, is not only of quality of the ships that have been built, delivered by Japanese yards, but also I think the more important is about the moral standards that the Japanese yards and Japanese shipping industry has already set up during the last decades and going forward. This we have absolutely 100% good faith on Japanese shipbuilding. Of course, in the past, we have been built and delivered quite a few dry bulk carriers from different Japanese yards. At the moment, what we have now is different from dry bulk. We have container feeder ships and gas carriers, MPP, general cargo vessels, etc. Relatively smaller sized ships. But what we can say that what we are having the appearance of our own is that certainly the delivery time is always punctual, on time as the Japanese standards. On the other hand, as said, the responsibility from bottom of the heart, from the Japanese shipyard, from the owner of the yard, from management, or down to the staffs, is always being top. It's not like just deliver the ship, buy. It's always consistent to follow up, to say what about the quality, how to improve. That's all makes us very, very comfort and also very much confident to go on, continue to build our ships in Japan only.
Eugene.
Yeah, thank you. I hope some applause for me. Promoting Japan. Thank you very much.
You should be an honorary representative. Eugene, if there are slots open at a Japanese yard, how easy is it to find owners and financiers willing and able to take that? Is the value proposition strong enough?
Well, in terms of financing,
Well, yeah, sorry.
from our perspective at the moment, there is definitely what we would call, we are just in this point in the capital cycle where we are coming off a period of time whereby in the last couple of years during COVID and pandemic period, where owners are actually earning extraordinary returns. And as a result of that, we also witnessed that owners are having much more stronger balance sheet, and banks, as a result of that, is actually more willing to lend. And I would still think that there are still, I would say, domestic ship financing, which is still seeking more towards Japanese-built ships. But as a result of issues with what is happening right now between the geopolitics between the U.S. and Japan, there are yards which are a little bit difficult for financiers to actually finance. So actually, from that perspective, I would say that Japanese yards are still kind of primed in the position to be the builders of choice.
Do you think if the capacity is increased further with the demands we were just hearing about for higher technology, do you think that will create a market for more Japanese ships in the global market? Japanese ships?
I think the fundamentals of the market is strong because, like I mentioned earlier, there is just a wall of capital waiting to be deployed. And at this point, where we are in the market, any excess capacity, I believe, as a result of, again, the geopolitics, Japan would remain a good country for people to invest their capital into. So I do believe that with increased capacity, it will be absorbed by the Japanese shipbuilders. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Hirano. Could I ask, from your perspective as a financier, the opportunity of a bigger Japanese shipbuilding market, is that something you believe there will be an appetite in the finance market to support?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm speaking in Japanese. Yes, Susan, yes, Eugene-san, thank you very much. And we're very happy to be praised. It's like praising me, sounds like. Yeah, but concerning our department, we have established the newly, this is the ship finance department, and we are trying to make it grow further. And as the panelists mentioned earlier, the replacement demand is very big. And based on the Japanese mentality, we tend to be considered pessimistic, but we're not. In 2029 and 2030, yes, we have secured orders already, and we have time to take the next step. And now we are looking at the restructuring of the Jamin and Imabaris, and restructuring is also going on. So the restructuring is also proceeding. And Hatsukuyoki is also changing. That's why our future is quite bright. And the start of Trump administration toward shipbuilding, a lot of people have been focusing on the LDP and the government, as it was mentioned earlier, in 2035. And we are trying to double by increasing up to 18 million. And therefore, it seems that we have bright future in the shipbuilding industry. Now, in order to keep this momentum, I think the labor point is quite important. How we have to look into or pay attention to the labor. We have to cover that. And from a finance point of view, there's a strong demand, and we have to support by finance. And we are already made various department preparations. That's why we build up a ship finance department, and so we have the strong financial background. In order to develop this, the marine, yes, we had the indirect finance until now to build. But what we have to do as a trust bank is that we have the private investors and pension fund. I think these need to be invested further in the maritime. And that is what the trust bank can do. So in addition to indirect finance, the areas that have not been used until now, yes, we would like to also utilize it in the areas where we haven't been doing until now as well.
Move over to you, Mr. Watanabe. We heard from Mr. Ueda, your CEO, earlier about the role of automation in particular to overcome some of the historic labor challenges. But to the point raised by Mr. Hirano of the structural government support plan for the industry to maybe double the output, how important is that for you as one of the individual shipyards, as both a very real financial market support, but as well as a cultural support that shipbuilding remains a strategic industry for Japan?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm also speaking in Japanese. As I explained earlier, yes, in 2024 in Japan, from 8 million, we want to increase it to 60 million. This was mentioned by Labour Democratic Party in Japan. In 2024, from this figure, we are trying to double, and there are various approaches to take to double this. And within the industry, as Hirano-san mentioned, we should be able to cover the shortage of labor. In the future, yes, we have to depend on the AI and other technologies as well, but at the same time, we have to have more people working in this industry to begin with. And so from last week, Yes, as it was mentioned, we have 14 million people living in Tokyo. This is concentrated in Tokyo, and if you look at local areas or regional areas, we see the reduction in population. And so, including ourselves, people in the shipbuilding industry is also seeing the similar situation. So we have to collect the people. We have to have manpower. And this is done throughout the industry. But 10 years ago, the SNS or YouTube or one shipbuilding is sometimes doing a TV commercial to change the image to collect more manpower resources. And Japan is facing a reduction in decrease in population, but we have to do something about this. Yes, the Ueda-san, yes, has been saying that. And then we linked it to the automatization or using more autonomous devices. But the government is providing necessary support, and they are trying to demonstrate some of the equipment that may be used automatically. We have to have more people working in this, and we have to accelerate the automatization.
Trumped quite a lot today, as it is in many ways in shipping. Do you think the impact of some of the policies, particularly the USTR policies, will drive a shift in shipbuilding appetite away from China, not only to Japan but to Korea, even other countries such as India that is coming up? Or do you think that China's position as the global leader is such that it is pretty much unmovable?
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Julian. I think as Julian also mentioned a little bit about USTR things, and also, but to me personally, I think, first of all, we are absolutely at a geopolitical crossroad at the moment, historically. And this never been ever like today over the last few years and decades up to now. And I think it's like you choose conventional fuel or choose dual fuel, other technologies. Nowadays is also a moment, a timing to choose with whom you do business. I think honestly it's each owner, each company's own choice. Well, if you look back the last few months, still a lot of new building orders placed in China, Chinese yards, especially feeder containers, dry bulk vessels, even some Japanese owners still built in China. I think it's really someone's own choice. It's like you stay in conventional, you want to try some dual fuel, whatever. It's own choice, and also doing business. I think today you may choose to say with whom you do business. Still, some people like, okay, look at today, Russia, some certain countries got heavily punished, sanctioned, but still people are trading with them. Why? I think it's own company, it's each company's own choice again. So, but who is right, who is wrong, it's very difficult to say at the moment. So that's why overall, it's back to the origin of like our companies from very beginning. We deal with the top Fortune 500 global commodity trading companies. So we are absolutely on the very much, of course, USTR clean up compliant side. Like we choose Japan as shipbuilding country only, without Korea, without China, is also our own choice. I think it's very difficult to say, this is my personal opinion, it's very difficult to say that, okay, there will be a big trend, like Greek owners community, they will choose coming to Japan to build instead of in China. I think it's still a lot of project oriented. They will still choose relatively cheap ones, earlier deliver slots, like some Japanese owners do as well.
Mr. Hirano, could I ask you the same question? That will the US policies in the long term drive a shift away from China perhaps, and towards not only to Japan but to other countries? Or is it too early to tell, or do you believe from what you see of the shipbuilding market, that China's position is so strong that it is difficult to remove?
そうですね。
Well, in short term, of course, like we will see some effects regarding the Chinese shipbuilding, and we have a lot of like customers' voices of the like manufacturing in China, or like Chinese lease company, or like refinance, or if they think it is not good, like they ask to changing the lease from somewhere to somewhere. So refinance demand is there. Even though making a purchasing order, I think it affects. But without Chinese ships, we cannot have worldwide ship maritime industry, right? So I think Trump policy will also be some kind of reached to a certain point. So like it doesn't affect to the halation. I don't think like it might be a big issue.
That same question. I mean, you obviously in the market with owners and talking to the yards at the same time. Do you see any nervousness in any way at the moment? And as John Su was saying, there have been plenty of reputable owners that have been more than happy to sign contracts in China in the last 3 or 4 months.
From our observation, I think the thing with USTR fees alone is not just really a question about dollars and cents.
Yeah.
It's really sending quite a real tone about what the US is able to do in employing a tool like this to target vessels directly in order to shift, shipbuilding away from China to reduce its dominance. So I think shipbuilding is very much a confidence business. Especially today, we are asking a ship owner to order a ship today for 3 years forward delivery into 2028, 2029. So, I mean, 3 years is a very long time. I mean, in reality,
it's a lifetime in today's world.
Yeah, so I think as a result of the confidence being shaken, in our day-to-day, I would say in the past couple of years, we have had more reception from domestic owners in Japan, considering to open up into building in China. But as a result of what is happening, I mean, who's to say that Donald Trump's not going to wake up tomorrow and with the USTR fees working out, that he might extend the fees to a wider spectrum of vessels? Because the tool has already been employed, and I think the damage has already been done. So I think owners nowadays are taking more of a wait-and-see attitude towards assessing the real impact of what the fees, USTR fees, is going to have an impact on the market come 2 weeks later. So I think there's more caution right now with regards to ordering Chinese ship, at least domestically, from what I observed. Yeah.
When we started this morning and we were talking to the ship owners, I used the phrase volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous, this phrase VUCA, about so many of the issues around shipping. One of the uncertainties has obviously been around decarbonisation and the financial regime that the IMO may bring in, and a lot of people have been standing back from committing money. As you were saying, Eugene, and Mr. Hirano, you were saying the amount of capital waiting to be invested is very strong. Most ship owners are well capitalized. Most shipping markets are relatively strong. And perhaps a last round of questions, and if I could start with you, Mr. Watanabe. Mitsui Shipbuilding, you have been specializing in higher value, higher technology ships, both in the passenger area and in the smaller energy market. If, let us not presume, but imagine that the rules are approved at IMO next month, and that over the next 18 months, the details are hammered out, and it does come into force in 2028, as would be the plan. Do you anticipate that that will be a positive driver to, particularly in your case, Japanese shipbuilding and frankly the fortunes of Mitsubishi shipbuilding, and whether it'll be a broader driver for the market? Mr. Watanabe.
Yeah, so we have a Mitsubishi shipbuilding. We have that name. Seems like we the shipbuilding. We are kind of marine solution provider, not only building, but environment software, so to say. We developed by myself, and in the past, we provided that system to the shipbuilding facility companies. So we have a tentative result might be what, but this decarbonization trend does not stop. This trend has several streams, right? Renewable, which one? So one is LNG, biomethanol, hydrogen, ammonia. There are several flows. If they want to use oils, we have many keywords. Onboard capture carbon system. We need that system, that technology. So to cover all the directions, to provide all the solutions for customers, we prepare all the carbon capture systems, or we develop by myself in our company. Regarding the natural liquid gas, LNG bunkers, as you may know, everything is kind of ready. Next is ammonia. So we cover everything. In Japan, stroke licenser, as Kawasaki-san mentioned, Japan engine finished the development for ammonia. We can provide ammonia, provide solution items. And as a shipbuilder, ammonia is also ready. And what's next? Well, so many, when we see the white papers, not only renewable energy will do. We cannot achieve the net neutral, carbon net neutral, only renewables. So not only enough. So we need to accelerate that supply. So if so, including overseas shipbuilders, or we would like to provide to achieve carbon neutral in this maritime technology by technology, we would like to support that achievement.
And may I offer my best wishes to you for that. Mr. Hirano, could I put the same question to you? In the last 3 years, a huge amount of container tonnage has been ordered. The LNG tonnage that's ordered has been off the scale, frankly, but then the delivery of the export facilities is very high. At the same time, the order book for tankers and particularly big bulk carriers is relatively low. The world fleet is aging quite rapidly at the moment because of the small replacement. Do you anticipate an acceleration of demand for new ships to pick up should the IMO rules be fully adopted and implemented? Sorry, yes, Mr. Ryan.
そうですね。
Well, right. Especially, so for the ship orders, when they order, so they don't know which one will be the mainstreams, right? And so they are kind of very serious about and cautious about to place an order for ship. And the cost is rising, and the Ship Recycle Act, we have this like a Sustainability Act. So, and incentive is kind of for environment, right? If it is not efficient, they cannot receive incentives. So even for the shipbuilding, so they cannot just wait. We have the obsolete problems. So I heard that the customers' voices. So regarding the ordering or procurement, I think we will have the demand. And as a financer, for the technical point of view, we would like to have the capability to judge the new technologies, technology assessment. So we would like to secure human resources who can analyze new technologies. And we are preparing that situation.
Very interesting indeed. Eugene, could I come to you before I go to John to finish? Is there pent-up demand? Do you see there being pent-up demand to replace some of this aging fleet in the next few years if the uncertainty of the regulatory regime is resolved?
Well, I don't think that there is any resistance, at least on the part of the builders and the ship owners, to actually invest into dual fuel technology and new energy propulsion. It's more a question of, where the end users are. So a lot of the deals that we originated from is generally from the fact that charterers are the ones coming in to say that this is kind of the energy direction they are going to take. So I think it takes, it also really depends on the segments we are talking about, because in reality, investing in a new dual fuel technology is a very capital intensive investment. So as a result of that, I think there are ship types which economically would not make sense. So we would, in dry, for instance, it would definitely be on the bigger ships where bunkering infrastructure is more certain.
Yep.
So I would say overall, with certainty on the fuel pathway and how we can get there, and charterers being willing to come on board with the collaboration of the owners and the shipyard, and of course the financiers as well, then we could actually progress and accelerate way quicker than we did before.
Thanks. And John, I'm sure you'll be back in Japan to order new ships, whatever happens, but do you think you'll be facing more competition from more hungry owners if some of these uncertainties around the regulation of the decarbonisation space is resolved?
I think there are certainly all the time there's buying competitions when we have kind of offering from the shipyards for new building slots, etc. In Japan. There's always kind of buying competition around, I think. But the motivation behind, I would say, that is not really decarbonization driven. I will say that way. Okay. So again, we live in the present. We are not living in the future. Decarbonization, to me personally, I still believe it certainly is a challenge, is an issue, but not for now. Maybe 10 years later, we are still at obviously a wartime market. The war in Black Sea, in Red Sea, there's no sign really being slowed down or be seized. And we have, as I said, the geopolitical things are really overwhelming now. So back to the earlier topics, actually, I just want to, a small note on USTR 301, or this, actually people always said it's Trump. It's not him. This started back to Biden administration.
Yeah, indeed.
So, am I right? Yeah.
Yeah,
so I think this is something that people always thought is Trump is troublemaker on that.
Which implies it's going to continue.
Sorry, he's a scapegoat on that, actually. So, this is something that we are really facing now, and we are really coping that which is coming in 2 weeks' time, actually less than 2 weeks' time. The USTR 301 kicks in, and I think there's a large shipping community in China, in Hong Kong, will be very, very heavily impacted, hugely.
Well, we're already seeing reflagging out of Hong Kong in quite large numbers.
It's ongoing, and it will go further deeper. And then because this USTR 301 is not that clear, so people get really nervous or kind of panic already. So initially was Chinese owner, including Hong Kong, owner and operator located there. But now even ship manager, because Erasmus Group, we have rep office in China because dry docking in China is at the moment almost unavoidable. This is something else that's apart from new building that we are talking about. Dry docking, so can't be dry docking in Japan? There's no way. Can't be dry docking in US? There's absolutely no possibility, right? So look at demolitions. In the last 5 years' time, there's almost zero demolition on any type of vessel. Of course, thanks to market, due to market situation. But what we will do, the vessel is certainly in all types are oversupplied because there's no demolition, it's only increase of tonnages, all sectors. So, but still, certain market is very strong. But now we look back, the geopolitical things are heavily influencing now. Like the last several days, we see the Capesize market crashing due to the China ban on PHP. So I think all these kind of things in the coming years' time will go even stronger. Unfortunately, sometimes maybe unexpected, difficult to predict. So that's why on really new building, to me, driven by decarbonization, I think it's probably it's a topic, is obsolete topic back to some years back, not now. Now we are really facing something very serious coming now.
On that very realistic and pragmatic note, I think that's a fair point to close the conversation. But gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and your contribution this afternoon. And if you'd like to give them a round of applause. Thank you. Please, gentlemen, go off then. See you. And thank you for your attention all day. I hope you've found it interesting. And just for some final words, I'd like to introduce my colleague, the producer of this event, Nicole Rankin, just to wrap things up. Nicole.
Thank you, everyone, for your participation today. It's always a pleasure to be in Japan, and we appreciate you all joining us here. We would especially like to thank our event sponsors, without whom the event would not be possible. Your feedback is very valuable to us, especially as we strive to enhance our event experience. Should you have any feedback, please do feel free to let us know via the event survey. I would also like to highlight our upcoming events this year. In just over 2 weeks' time, on the 21st of October, we will be in Busan, South Korea, to host our inaugural Global Shipbuilding Forum alongside Core Marine. Just after that, we will be in Hong Kong for the Ship Recycling Forum, taking place from 18th to 19th of November. If you would like to attend any of these events, please take note of the 20% discount code, Japan20. Just before we let you go to have some networking drinks, please be reminded to leave your headset on the chairs. Otherwise, we hope to have you join us again soon, whether here in Japan or elsewhere in the world. And now we encourage you all to enjoy the conversation over some drinks. Thank you.